You just start, basically. It sounds really simple, but you just start. I mean, I never know what I'm going to draw really when I'm working with the canvas. I just have to go and make a mark, like a line straight away, put some colour down and just expand from that, and what happens, happens. I got into art really late. Like, I didn't even study it in high school. Never really had any interest in it. And then I think I was about 24 years old, which was about 6 years ago. It was sort of like, you know, when people wake up from a coma and they can speak another language. I sort of woke up one day and just started drawing constantly. And I was also working in a nightclub, Revolver, upstairs at the time. And I was working on the door and there'd be all these dead hours in the middle of the night, and I would just draw people, like people asleep on the couch or people dancing, and I think that's another reason my character work looks so tired and strung out, because that's generally how people look at 3 in the morning. I love animals. Like, I think that's something that comes across in my art, is my love of animals. And you know, last night I watched a documentary on mountain goats and I noticed their hooves look a lot like high heels. So now I just want to draw mountain goats in stilettos. But it's not like a deep thing. It's just kind of something I find comical almost, that I want to draw. Like, I want people to have fun looking at it. I mean, my art when I was younger was a lot darker, but I think also because I work with children a lot now, I do a lot of children's workshops and I nanny a bit, you can kind of see that in my work. Like, it's become more colourful, more pastel, like obviously too because I'm around a lot of children's books and illustrations, and that's influencing me a lot. I started experimenting with street art recently. It came from the gallery show I did in Maitland, actually. Like, I have a lot of street artist friends and they've always been encouraging me to get out in the alleyways with them. But I'm sure a lot of artists can relate to this. I have a lot of osteo problems in my wrists. So I tried a spray can and it ended up with my hand in a bucket of ice. And I was like, I'm never gonna be able to do this. And then I went to the gallery and they had a massive storage room of wall paint, and they said, oh, see that wall while we're hanging your show, would you mind doing a few birds or something on it? So I just painted these girls, these massive, like 3 girls and a few birds in between them on this like amazing magenta wall. And it had never occurred to me before that I could use wall paint on a wall and I could do that outside. Working with a larger scale, my art on the canvas is becoming a lot more like my street art, which is illustrative. But previously my canvas work has been oils and just kind of ambiguous in what it is, you know, it's not really. But now, which I'm glad about, I couldn't sort of translate my smaller characters onto a bigger canvas, but now I have my head around it outside, I can do that. So now I work on a canvas, yeah, those characters are kind of coming to life on there. So it's affected me and sort of setting me back a little bit, like how I used to draw, but I like that. There's not a long kind of life expectancy of your artwork outside, but it's still a real rush doing it. And consequently, it's made me work on a much bigger scale. Like, my canvases are a lot bigger now because I'm comfortable working that large. I'm going to keep up my street painting a lot. I think that's a really big business card for an artist, like, you know, and it's just so fun. I aim to have a show in Melbourne by the end of this year, and hopefully a smaller one in Sydney, maybe a group show next year. But I really want to do a big solo show in Melbourne because I haven't done that yet, and bulk of my friends are here and I'd just love to share that with them. But the great thing about street art is you're having a show every day. Like, you know, you're exhibiting every day and you have people there attending as they walk past. It's lucky I live in a day of social media as well, because you can sort of debut your stuff online constantly, whereas, you know, back in the 80s even, an artist couldn't do that. You know, it would be an exhibition, year and a half later, 2 years later, another exhibition. So you can kind of keep your work churning out constantly and get people to see it.